Well, hello everyone. I'm Brenny Larson,
Hey,
and
I'm
James
James
Day
Day.
is here with me. Hey, James.
Hey, Brenny.
So we are here today. We want to talk about a case study where there's no support. Let me give you a little bit of background on this. So here are some patterns that have been going on for a long time, way, way too long. So I'm not sure if it'll help you, but here it is. Things, plans, they either get delayed, never get started, or never get finished. Often repeating things many, many times. Things take way too long, way longer than they should. What should take an hour may take a week or even longer. When something does start to happen for the good, it gets sabotaged, or something stupid happens, or people disappear. I feel I'm hidden, like people don't see me, they don't hear me, or they don't believe me. I understand not everything is supposed to work or is meant to be, but this is just to the point of ridiculous because nothing's working very well. Nothing goes smooth or easy. How would I look for other ways to make money if I have to get a second income? I would do everything to get set up, to put the time and money and effort into it, doing her part, and then something would happen beyond control of her or him and would make very little money, and it wouldn't last long. I believe the results in her healing. She's a healer, and that she had great clients when she lived in a different state 3 years ago. She did no advertising. The healing business basically started itself, and she loves doing healing, but she is in an area that just she is not being seen, heard, nothing's going on. There's no support. Okay, James, that's
Hmm.
the background, and I'd also sent James the floor plan, and we'll talk about that too. So why do you say this place has no support? What's giving you that explanation?
Yeah, well, she seemed to be doing great before she moved to this new location, and that's a direct, connection to something being off with the feng shui for sure. Because if it just because you move, and it looked like she just moved from one part of California to another that wasn't that far away, maybe an hour or so away. So there's no reason for her business not to really continue. And so we have to look at the property and what we see, and I can just show you here a little diagram, but what we see in her floor plan is something similar to this. Now this is the bagua that we align over it, and her floor plan happened to have a missing benefactors area and a missing knowledge or wisdom area. And so because of those facts, it sounds like the main issue that she's having is she's not being supported where she lives. And the benefactors area, we also call it helpful people, is all about support. So if you're weak in that area, it means that you don't, you have nothing supporting your life, helping you. And also when we look at her property, behind her house, she has a huge pond.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the best place for the water element, because it's it's also this idea of support. It's better to have a hill or a mountain or another building or something behind you to give that sense of having something at your back. Those are the things that
So,
are
so
popping
James,
out
I
at
want to
me.
make a point also is that when you're talking about helpful people area, the cross sector or cross gua is wealth area.
Right.
So they do have a direct impact there. If she's missing the energy of
Yeah.
helpful people in her life, it has a impact on your wealth. And then that's
Yeah,
going to be
definitely.
the same thing you talk about the wisdom area is directly
Hmm.
across from partnership. So everything James is talking about has to do with support, no support.
Yeah.
And then, so that was just the floor plan. And then he brought up the water, which he's talking about. You know how the armchair position is, you need the support in the back. And it may be beautiful, but there is no support at all there. Also, when people come in, that's the first thing they see, and their energy goes right through the
Right. So that
property.
means that the chi goes directly out there as well. And she's also having trouble. She said she feels hidden, and so that would have something to do with the Lee trigram, or the fame and recognition area, which is up here in the center, which is right near where this pond is located. So she needs something to build up this fire element.
Okay, so what would you give as a cure that could help stir up her fame and reputation and also like help that energy to slow down and stop?
Well, one thing I would definitely recommend doing before anything else would be a chi adjustment, or what we call a space clearing. And there's a great one that's used in the BTB tradition, which is called the rice blessing. And it's very simple to perform. It's actually in David Kennedy's book, Feng Shui for Dummies. There you go. There's a kind of a step-by-step procedure in there that you can use.
I'm on page 307 is going to start you off and give you the tips per ceremonies. And this is from our black sect, black hat point of view. And then it goes very specific and follow everything exactly as it says, starting on page 308.
308. Okay, yeah, so that would be my first suggestion. And then she wants to do something either inside the house or outside to complete those missing corners.
Okay, so let's just give her the cures, and the students that are listening right now, we want you to always be thinking and writing down things you would do. There's not just one solution. Okay, so James, let's first, can we correct the benefactors or helpful people area? What would you suggest there?
Yeah, well, what I would suggest there would be to you want to place something in that corner. So here's kind of an example. This is showing a missing marriage corner. And as far as the cures go, let me just scoot through this a little bit. Oh, sorry. You want to put something outside where that corner would be if the walls were completed. And in her case, it's actually down here in benefactors. The element for benefactors is metal. So placing something that is metal or that's white in color will help enhance that metal. But you can also use the earth element. So bringing to fill in that area, or to think about planting some yellow blooming plants, roses, peonies, etc. To bring that earth element. I always like to bring in the element that creates the one I want.
So what he's saying is, in the 5 elements, earth creates metal. And the examples he gave you, if you're wondering about why he said yellow flowers, is because yellow is the color for earth. So that's just one way he was telling you to anchor it. The other was bringing rocks and stones, which is the earth element. Then he also gave you the cure to use metal. He said you could use something white, something metal, something round, and you want to put your intention into that. We're not going to every time go through the 3 secrets of reinforcement, so you can look back at the beginning of class or in your homework and you'll find all that information. James, so we do the rice blessing, and then let's say we're just going to use the flowers because it's beautiful in California and you can have those year-round. Would not be the greatest cure in Minnesota, maybe.
Right. So we have cures on a couple different levels. We have one level of cures which we call mundane cures, and that's to actually physically complete that area. So whether it's building a room, or adding a deck or a porch or something, where you're actually doing something physical. Then on the other hand, we have cures that we call transcendental, and this is what we were talking about, where you determine where that corner would be if it did exist, and then place something right in that corner or fill in that whole area, like we said, with flowers. So if you could bring in the earth element with yellow flowers, you could put them in white pots. And if you use the number 9, that's sort of the heavenly number, and the benefactors area is considered the heavenly trigram. That would increase it.
there's many ways we can give you cures from outside, but we're just giving you examples so you understand how to you can complete the energy grid for the Bagua or the energy map. Okay, now we have one more
Right.
missing area that we want to complete. That's very important also, and that's the wisdom area, which is on the other side of the house. So if you are
Right.
looking at your Bagua, he just completed the helpful people or benefactors area, and now we're going to talk quickly about how to complete the energy for the wisdom area so that she does or he does get backing in their life. Okay, James, take it away.
Okay. So um, the element of that area is earth. So we want to try and enhance that earth element. And one of the best ways we can do that is by bringing in the fire element. So think about something that's red you could place out there, um, or you could use you could actually you could do it on the inside as well. You could do something on the inside. We have internal cures we can do as well. So you know, by placing mirrors on the missing walls, that helps to expand the area. You could use some nice faceted cut glass crystal right at the corner and or in front of both walls in the missing corner. So of course here we're looking at the wealth corner, but I'm just using this as an example. So the things you want to think about is the element you want in that area, okay, and that is earth. Then think about what element enhances, nurtures, and creates earth, and that's fire. So by using fire, you can create a very powerful cure. Um, you can also choose from what we call the 9 categories of cures. And that's also in David Kennedy's book. So we have things like wind chimes, things that move, wind chimes, things that work with light, like lights, mirrors, crystals. We have color. So by using the color red, we're bringing in fire. And so on and so forth. So there's many categories of cures that you can draw from.
I'm glad that you got my telepathic message because I'm like, do an inside cure. Do an inside
Okay,
cure.
good.
And so he's like, hey, I think we'll do an inside cure. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent.
So if you can see, this didn't cost anything. It was very simple to do. And by just doing a rice blessing and completing the energy grid, what will happen, James? What is this going to make a difference in the energy for the person living there? How's it going to help them?
Well, first of all, I found that doing the space clearing ceremonies can really bring powerful change quickly. So that's why I recommended that to be the first thing. And then this idea of support, the whole purpose of feng shui is really to turn your environment into a support mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
So if your environment supports you, and it makes it easier for you to create the things you want in your life. If you're fighting your environment, let's say every time you come home you feel a sense of depression, overwhelm, there's too much clutter, just you don't, you're not inspired, and that's going to make it harder for you to create what you want. So the key to feng shui is this idea of getting the environment to support our life. And I think she'll feel that once she does these few simple things.
And if you've ever like done spring cleaning, especially up here in the Northland when we do it, it's a big thing. You can feel the energy difference. So if you happen to be one of those people when you come home and you can feel your energy lower, a lot of times it's clutter or keeping things that aren't aren't good memories for you. Well,
Absolutely.
James, I think that was a good start. We gave you some examples of why there is
Yeah.
no support in this person's life, and we gave you cures for the inside and for the outside, and how to stir the energy up in the fame and reputation. Did we talk about that with the flagpole? We did, didn't we?
No, I don't think we do. I don't think so. Yeah, it would be good to place something between the house and the pond. So whether it's planting a tree or putting a flagpole, or even doing something inside, like hanging a big crystal just inside, right in the fame area. or a
James,
nice
how
wind.
about something like, what if, I like motion and activity. What if they had like a red windsock, or would a windsock, like
Perfect.
if it had purple in it or something, could I use the other colors from like the wealth area?
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, well, there you go, people. We're going to do these short segments for you so that we can get your brain thinking in the feng shui world. And when you do appointments, or whether you're doing it for yourself or others, things will come easier the more you get examples. So here you go with our case study on no support. Thank you for showing up.
Excellent. Thanks for the good questions too.
Yep, thanks, everybody.